Okay guys, this might be a review that's a bit more animated than usual, right? Because this chapter, I really enjoyed the chapter, and it really just got the juices flowing, right? It really it really got the juices flowing, and okay, in a good way and a bad way. First, let's talk about the bad way. The cover story for chapter 979. Normally, I do not care about the cover story, especially this one, because it hasn't been that interesting and like, where's Oda going with this? Guys, now we know. Now we know where Oda is going with it. Pound is apparently, well, I'm speculating, I'm assuming he's alive. What does Pound being alive mean? Pound being alive means that everything, or the major moment with Pound as far as him and his sacrifice in Whole Cake Island, that was a death in Whole Cake Island that I liked. I really enjoyed that Pound, how he went out. We just saw the ending of it with Oven just coming down and striking Pound apparently, and apparently he's alive. Pound is alive, and the problem with this, right? Because based on the cover story, it seems like what's happening is the Tontada, they happened upon Pound, and because it's Tontada, they're heading back to Dressrosa. So more than likely, this entire cover story, of course, this is more than likely downplaying it, but the entire purpose of this cover story, seemingly, and why it was so stretched out, was to make sure that Pound reunited with Lola and Chiffon. And it's just so wild because how did Pound get on a ship and just happen across some Tontadas, right? People are saying that he could be dead, right? He could be dead, but I doubt it. It seems like Pound is alive, and it ruined it, man. It ruined it, like...
Oh, man, you're just ruining it. Look at my lips, you're ruining it. Ruining.
So for me, it's just... Hopefully I'm wrong. Maybe it's not Pound. Maybe it's his brother, Round or something. I don't know. But how it looks, Pound is alive. You know what? Let's not let that detract us from how great a chapter this was, because it was a really good chapter. We got tons of information. There's a lot to talk about, so let's move on. Let's just move on. The chapter starts out, and it's giving us a breakdown as to where things are and what's happening from Orochi's perspective and from the Alliance's perspective, right? Apparently, Orochi's calm at mind. He's at ease because he can track the whereabouts and the movements of the scabbards. So for him, he has nothing to worry about. However, he has no idea that the scabbards have already started their raid on Onigashima. Kanjuro! We were talking about Kanjuro last week in the review, and I was talking about, well, more than likely Kanjuro went to find Hiyori or something. It's actually a better reason why Kanjuro hasn't reported to Orochi as yet. It's because he's lost. He's caught the Zoro syndrome. Not really, but Onigashima, based on the scaling and the size of it, it's a very large place. And it makes sense that Kanjuro has never been to Onigashima. He would have no reason to ever go there. So him going there now, first, they view him as a traitor still. Secondly, he has no idea where the hell he's going, so he's lost. He doesn't know where to go. He can't find Orochi. And for him to get to Orochi, he has to go through a bunch of minions and just find a way, figure out a way to get a message to him. I would have thought they had a way to communicate already, especially in this situation, like a private line, a private Denden Mushi or something like that. But no, he has to go and deliver Momonosuke to Orochi personally. And because of who he is and how he's remained undercover and kept a low profile for the most part, they think he's an enemy. So that explanation makes a ton of sense. No qualms from me. We get to the Straw Hats though, and it's actually hilarious because of everything that's going on. First off, Frankie's showing off his new toys, right? And he's having a blast with the new toys, the new weapons that he's gonna use during this invasion against Kaido. The different character gags and the character moments here were great. It feels like Prime One Piece, because the characters are the driving force of this story. So seeing the Straw Hats all together again and having a good time and just the gags, I didn't mind it this chapter. Like, I really enjoyed the comedy in this chapter with Sanji's trying to get into the tank with Nami and those guys. It's occupied. Frankie offering Robin a ride, but Brook gets in. It was a pleasant, very pleasant chapter. Jinbei had some wise words as well. We'll save those because those are very impactful, so I want to wait and see exactly what the official says. But I think Jinbei is already proving himself to be an amazing member of the crew. Something Jinbei can prevent is Luffy just leaving the crew and Zoro. That happens all the time, right? But typically Zoro's running after Luffy, trying to find Luffy, and then he gets lost himself. This time, Luffy's going after Kid. Zoro went in after Luffy, and of course he got lost. So it's just a typical Straw Hat thing. I mentioned this in like a few chapters ago, that they're all gonna go in, but they're gonna get separated at some point. That's just inevitable. So it's cool that it's happening already. So of course they're gonna run into different matchups. This is approaching towards the final war. This is the setup, and it's the beginning right here. And that's crazy because this is not even the interesting part of the chapter. The Toby Roppo. I think a very interesting group. I really enjoyed the Toby Roppo, and they just rose up on my list several notches after this chapter, mainly because of ambition. The Tobiropo, they're showing themselves to be really ambitious to the point that they want an all-star seat. They're striving to be an all-star, and them being made up of former pirate captains, that's not a surprise at all because it makes sense, because in the New World, you either work under a Yonko or oppose them. So for them, they chose to work under Kaido, and normally for pirate captains, there's a lot of pride there. So for them, just being considered an underling of an underling, I'm sure it rubs them the wrong way. And King figured as much, whereas like if it was said that King called them, they wouldn't have come. But it's a weird thing because Kaido did need them. And I like the offset here, whereas like if you do this for me, then you can get this. The thing they're doing for Kaido is capturing Kaido's son, Yamato, right? Not sure how Yamato made it from Naruto into One Piece, but it happened. Kaido's telling him to look for his son. Black Mirror mentions that it would be difficult to capture him. I'm not sure what that means exactly. Not sure if he has a devil fruit like camouflage or something. Is he a half chameleon? Like was Kaido's girlfriend or wife or woman or minion like a chameleon or something? That's why it's hard to find him. And we also noticed somebody watching Jinbei and Robin at the end or in the chapter as well. So that's something we can talk about as well Sunday. But that entire dynamic was great. Like I really enjoyed finding out more about Kaido's like the crew dynamic because it's interesting and important because it's separate and different from what we've seen from any other pirate crew, any other Yonko crew, I should say. Seeing King, Kaido, the Tobiropo, and just the dynamic between them, it's going to make for some interesting stuff in Wano. Of course, I'm not sure how many of it comes to fruition, but the dynamic is one I would like to find out a lot more about. The chapter comes to an end with Luffy, and you know, of course, Luffy runs into an enemy. They say they notice him, but they're drunk, they've been drinking, so of course they're kind of, you know, they're out of it, so they don't notice him. And then the people at the party, they're wasting food, like they're throwing away food. They're talking about the people of Wano as well, specifically Okabura Town, and of course Luffy thinks of Tama, whereas they're throwing away food and saying that the people of Okabura Town, they're licking it off the ground, they would lick it off the ground. And so for Luffy, personally for him and how much those people were fighting to survive and the food they were eating, and for Tama, how happy she was to get actual food, this resonates with Luffy. More than likely Luffy's gonna go back, but it's possible Luffy doesn't. So that's something we have to consider and think about as well. But the chapter was really full, was really stacked. It's a lot of information to get into. It's a lot of things that occurred in regards to the chapter. Finding out about Kanjuro, I thought that was really good as far as like how that was done, whereas it doesn't feel like an ass pull. It feels like something that could legitimately happen where I'm trying to report to you, but I have no way to get to you because I was a former traitor. I guess I was an enemy in the eyes of, you know, your people. So getting to you is a lot more difficult because you're in a different place than you were before. You're in Onigashima, someplace I've never been, and the scale of Onigashima is insane. So very logical thing. Really like that. Ashura, Doji, and Kawamatsu and those guys, they were with Law. Would it be cool if they actually joined Law's crew? Like, how much would their crew be boasted? Of course, I don't see that happening because they have to go back and protect Wano. I think they stay in Wano, obviously. Maybe all of them don't stay. I'm really interested in the conversation with Kawamatsu and Jinbei, and what if Kawamatsu decides to like leave Wano and explore the world as a fishman, like identifying himself as a fishman, because personally, I think Law needs some new crewmates. Like his crewmates are okay, Beppo, but John Bart, personally, I lost a lot of respect for John Bart when he got slammed by that random baboon in Zou. So for me, I don't think Law's crewmates are that strong. It seems like he's literally carrying this crew. So if he gets some other strong crewmates, people that can support him in a better way, if he doesn't die, that would be great as well. But there's no connection here with Law and those guys, so I don't see those guys joining. It was just something that came to me when I was seeing different people with Law. More competent people, I should say. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Very good chapter. Very, very good chapter. 8.5 out of 10. We're getting there. We're getting to the nitty-gritty of Wano, where we're finding out pertinent information. Of course, Kaido has an announcement as well. I've speculated as far as like what that could be on Sunday as well. It's really a lot going on, right? And how Oda handled this chapter, I thought was really, really well done. Like really well done. This probably marks the end of the Kaido's son theories that was rampant throughout the community. I mean, I even made one. So yeah, and I think his son is alive. He should be alive. Unless Kaido is just fucking nuts, right? But yeah, it's not Big Mom's children. I mean, it could be, but I don't think Yamato is our son. No, we're not doing that. Well, we're on break next week, and I'm not sure if you guys heard about it, but Oda or One Piece in general will be taking more breaks due to coronavirus. So we're not going to get as many chapters as we usually do, which is sad on its own, but we have to understand like this is a serious pandemic going on. For Oda and his staff to remain safe, this is what has to be done, and I support it 100%, right? So something I also want to point out is to read the official translations when it comes out on Viz on Sundays. It adds more context. Sometimes it can clear up things that you weren't sure of before. So while you can read other translations, I strongly advise to read the official as well. So yeah, give me your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BragoDAce. Follow me on Instagram at BragoD.ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Like and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.